when you think about it, there are so many different actions we can enable across different systems, industries, and business functions. The universe of actions has many, many, many different dimensions. And that's why we can't do it all alone. We can't do it all by ourselves. So the disruptive thing that we are doing along this action imperative is that we are building out an entire execution management ecosystem. We are going out there and we are partnering with the crème de la crème, the best of the best. And this ecosystem of partners is building services, applications, and tools on top of our Celonis platform. They are supercharging this idea of data execution. And today, I would like to highlight a great example. They're called Conexiom, and they are the market leader in sales order automation. And I would like to welcome my good friend, Ray, the visionary CEO of Conexiom, to tell us more about this. Welcome, Ray.
Alex, great to see you. Thank you for having me.
Hey, it's good to see you, my friend.
It's good to see you.
Thank you so much for joining us, Ray. You know, it would be great. You know, we have all these customers listening in, and I just told them about the execution management ecosystem and what we are doing together with Conexiom. So maybe you can give the audience a little bit of the overview on what Conexiom does.
Wonderful. I'd love to, Alex. And again, thank you for having us. We're so excited about the partnership that we're going to launch together. Conexiom, at the end of the day, we're an automation platform, but we focus on two main areas, really transactions that make up order to cash and procure to pay. These are things like accounts payable documents. You and I are going to talk about sales order today, but there's other documents like an advanced ship notice or an order acknowledgement around supply chain that our customers are really looking to solve for to make sure that they can deliver on time and full orders to their customer with 100% accuracy. So great to be here and really excited about the partnership.
Yeah, I'm excited too because there isn't a single customer that doesn't have this problem.
That's right.
Yes.
That's absolutely correct.
Yeah, and that's why I'm so excited. But Ray, why have you been so excited about this partnership, and why did you choose both Celonis as a partner and also our platform as a platform to build on and develop on?
Sure. I'll take the first question first there, Alex. Why Celonis as a partner? That was pretty easy because it just makes a lot of sense at the end of the day. As Corey is going to share with us later in the session, the Celonis platform identifies problems that our customers may not know they have. Not only identify them, they can quantify the size of the problem, right? So when you can identify a problem and quantify it, ultimately the customer is going to want to solve the problem, and that's where we help out with a number of mutual customers together, and then obviously with the analytics and tools that you have, you report against it. So it just makes a lot of business sense. Typically with partnerships, I follow the market and follow the customers, and as we've continued to expand this partnership, every single customer we talk to is really excited about bringing these two things together. So that's why we did it at a business level. And a technology level, it's just been great. I mean, the access to the data that we have, the execution data that we have, the ease of integration based on your API tooling that you have, it's been super simple for both teams to come together and really integrate something that's special. And I'm even thinking about, as you know, looking at how I can leverage the platform across all of my customers as it relates to how we get them time to value.
I love it. Ray, and we are two technologists talking here, to software CEOs, but we have actually something much more important. We brought a customer. We brought Corey in from Exxon, who's using both Conexiom and Celonis. So, Corey, thank you so much for joining us.
Great, thanks for having me.
Thank you. And Ray, why don't you take over the questions for Corey?
Sure. Okay, Alex, absolutely. Corey, thanks again for joining us. As I mentioned earlier in the conversation with Alex, you're really the reason why we're here. ExxonMobil is doing a lot of innovative things, and you're doing some innovative things at a really, really fast pace. So maybe just kind of give us some of the background on process mining and automation, and what problems were you trying to solve?
Sure, great. So I actually found out about Celonis when I was doing a rotational assignment in Exxon IT. And having a 30-year business background, I immediately saw the value proposition and the benefits that Celonis can bring. So I was able to successfully bring Celonis into the corporation's platform in 2017. And then just shortly after that, I actually got transferred back to my home company, Exxon Chemical, where I'm in my current role as a global supply chain digital transformation manager. My very first assignment in that new role, I actually got to implement Celonis on one of our use cases with order to cash. The assignment I was given was to come up with a vision and a project plan to implement a new customer engagement center that included a new e-commerce platform. Now, we're growing rapidly, and we have some new business models that are a bit challenging in our legacy ERP systems. And so it was a great opportunity to use Celonis to be able to visualize, diagnose, and understand what those challenges were so we could address them. And that's how it started.
That's great. That's great. And like you said, you found Celonis, before we started working together. And I remember in one of the meetings we had, when you were showing the progress of the business case, you showed me Celonis technology, and it really was the jumping off point for this partnership. So really, what was it about what Celonis can do and what Conexiom can do? What made you think, hey, maybe I can bring these things together? What was the vision there? What were you trying to achieve, not only independently with both solutions, but in an integrated way?
Yeah. So, as part of that project to implement the new customer engagement center, we recognized that not all customers were going to want to put an order in online in the e-commerce platform. We want to be able to offer our customers optionality. However, that optionality can't mean we just push all of this manual sales order creation over to our customer account specialists, because especially at the rate that we're growing, we don't want to push that manual volume of order entry onto them. So we were looking for a global scalable solution to automate the order entry for orders that are coming in over email to us from our customers. Well, we tried going down the path of doing homegrown solutions, but to be honest, we could not do anything in-house that was scalable given the global nature of our business and some of the complexities of some of our businesses. So actually, I was recommended to talk to Conexiom. We actually had our first call with your team, the week of the global pandemic, the first week. But within 80 days, we not only signed a contract, implemented the technical solution, and took our first order. I mean, it was just a super fast implementation. But while we were doing all of that build up to going live, I used Celonis to create a dashboard that basically helped us analyze what order types were a good fit for the Conexiom platform and which customers we should go after to get the biggest bang for our buck in the implementation and see the value faster. And so we wanted to also be able to see the end-to-end process. So from the time a Celonis order comes into our system, a Conexiom order comes into our system, all the way through the order processing. And it worked beautifully, and that's what you saw. And after 16 months of having Conexiom in operation, we're now placing orders at a rate of over 72,000 orders per year and growing. And as they say, the rest is history.
No, that's great. You've been a great customer all along, and you've pushed us, so I appreciate it. And I'm really glad when you showed the business case and you wanted to understand, kind of quantify, are we making the progress we're making, that you showed that Celonis dashboard, because we might not be here today if you didn't. Maybe one last question, Corey. I'm sure there's a lot of folks out there in the midst of a digital transformation or in the midst of an automation journey. what are some tips and tricks that you would say to someone who maybe hasn't yet started yet? Like maybe you can give some of the folks in the crowd just some ideas on things you would do to jumpstart a transformation like this.
Yeah, the biggest thing that comes to mind is, when you're trying to tackle an automation problem, you need to really understand the variability in your process. Because while you can automate complexity, that complexity needs to be a little bit or have some consistency to it. It is very hard to automate an inconsistent, complex process. It usually becomes costly and sometimes near impossible to achieve in a meaningful way, especially at global scale. And so that's really the power of Celonis, is it allows us to deeply understand, visualize all of that complexity, the variation, so that we can do the business process redesign if we need to be able to get to a better automation solution instead of just automating a bad process.
That's great. It makes a ton of sense, right? If you like you said, if you automate a bad process, the outcome is not going to be perfect. But when you can take some of the power that Celonis and the insights that Celonis can give you as it relates to understanding how best and what a good process looks like, and then automate from there, that's a much more scalable solution. So that's a great tip. Yeah. Well, again, Corey, I want to thank you. Alex, I want to thank you and the team. It's been a joy. You've been a joy to get to know and to become a friend over the last year. And I think our teams are working really well together, and we're really excited about the product launch that we're going to make together.
Thank you so much, Corey. Thank you so much, Ray. This was fantastic. What a great story of how we can make the data work for us and automate the processes. And, I think this is a great example for the customers listening here. So thank you very much. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.